It's KJH Family and Fun. Hi, it's me, KJH the Filmmaker/artist, and welcome to KJH Family and Fun. So today on KJH Family and Fun, I'm just going to do a house tour for some reason only. So I'm just going to tour the house, but I'm not going to show you some other place, like for example, my parents' bedroom and all the other bedrooms or something like that, because that's completely off limit or something like that. So even if you want to see the bedroom, I did create two artworks for two of these bedrooms each, but they ended up becoming part of a housing decoration for a nightstand or something like that. So I only created two house pictures, one being that pretty house, and the other one being a medieval house. So they're both based on my digital artwork I officially made. So I'm just going to show you the pictures right about now if you look at them for some reason only. So I'm probably not going to talk about the artworks right about now. I'm just going to give you a house tour starting now. So this here is clean if I need the living room or something like that. Yeah, this couch is brand new, so we brought it from a furniture store or something like that somewhere, especially these or something like that. And this over here is just a bunch of box that hasn't been packed or that has been unpacked or something like that. Some of them has been packed. Some of them might even have my half of the artworks I officially had. So we wound up unpacking the entire box right about now. This one is full of buttons from the Art.Studios, and this one is probably my second closet over here, so I might have to put it in my room somehow. So this place is going to be like a dining room table, so it's going to have like a dining room table set once we remove all these boxes out of the way, and everything else will be okay then. So this here is a TV set or something like that, so we're likely in the TV room. And this here is like our furnishing for our TV set, so we used to sit back and relax whenever you need to relax or something like that. Yeah, this is clearly better the best place to just sit back and relax and watch some TV or something like that. I'm not much of a TV person, to be fair honest with you guys, but I'm more of like a movie person or something like that. And sometimes I would sit back and watch my own films I officially made, like the KJ and Julie show and all that stuff. And sometimes my own movies I officially invented made. So I'm still working on one of these movies, that is. And also that this house has a swimming pool over here. So you kind of see that we just straight up invented to move in. Well, this one over here, we didn't actually brought it or anything else. It was actually from the last resident who just left it there. So we probably might thank the last resident for leaving this for outdoor furniture here or something like that. But as a matter of fact, I actually did swim in one of these swimming pools or something like that, and it seems kind of fun to swim in, even though I got my bathing suit and all that stuff, and I just start diving straight into the swimming pool. If anything, if you look at these pictures of me in my swimming suit or something like that, and it looks kind of neat. And there's also this kind of artwork that was obviously right over there or something like that. I don't know why these artwork is there, but it sure looks like it's probably should have been removed. I don't know why they left. I don't know why the last resident had eventually left it there. And also the last resident used to have a pet animal or dog or something like that, if anything. But for the last resident on the hand, the last resident already moved to another state or something like that. I'm not going to explain who the residents were or anything else, because I don't even know who the last resident was. So it's probably best not knowing. It's probably best not to know anything or anything else, or if anything. So I'm just gonna move on to the next room then. Well, this here is likely the kitchen area or something like that. Yep, this here is like the kitchen area. This is our kitchen set table and all that stuff. So this is a place where we make food and all that stuff. I might have to bake something based on whatever event that is happening or something like that, if anything. Yeah, and I did place a sticky note or something like that. All because what happened was one of my relatives, my younger sister, had eventually found a scorpion in that dresser or something like that. And we finally got that removed. I have not removed that sticky note. All because I felt like we just moved into a scorpion territory. And if anything, it would have turned into one big horror film for all that matter. And then we had to deal with the rise of the Scorpion King. Yeah. Something that you probably might see in this one badly CGI animated movie that people over just keep on complaining about it. It's probably that second movie that was made in 2000 or something like that. Even though back in 2000s, CGI was probably bad for a live action film, I guess. Even though whatever they had to do is just throw away CGI animation in that film to make it seem kind of scary or something like that. Especially whatever film genres they make, whether it's a horror film or action adventure film or something like that. Well, you know how films are made or something like that, even though it has nothing to do with filmmaking, but I'm just showing the house around here. Yeah, and there goes our stovetop or something like that. This is where we cook our food and all that stuff. And this is our refrigerator where we restore food and all that stuff. And this is where we go straight to my bedroom. So this is my name, KJH over here. Yeah, I'm sorry that I just, like, censored my actual name or something like that, so I decided to give myself an initial or something like that instead. Well, you kind of see that this room had, like, these beads all over or something like that. I actually made it a long time ago, and I never hang it on my door before for some reason. Like, it's been like this for a long time, and so therefore I finally got a chance to hang it so that people know that this is clearly my room. So now we are officially entering inside my bedroom. Yep, so pretty much my bedroom is kind of a little crowded or some of that because it's very small and it needs more space or something like that. Yeah, so you kind of get the idea with space saving and all stuff. Oh yeah, and here's my blanket that I never sell on eBay anyway. That never got a chance to be sold anyhow on eBay. Yep, so this is pretty much if I need my room. So you kind of see over there. Yeah, this is all my other stuff or stuff like that is not even books. So pretty much some of the stuff are just a bunch of small sculptures from the dresser or something. Mirror dresser thing that I have. Yep, and there goes my Nintendo Wii U over there. And these are all my Nintendo games I have, which includes the DS, the 3DS, and of course the Wii U and the Switch. Yeah, the Switch is hidden right over there. Yeah, and there goes Mario and Luigi with the Wii U gamepad thing, and on top, yeah, just some other stuff I had. Sometimes I used to have it on top of the shelf or so on top of that cabinet, TV set cabinet or something like that. Even though there was a TV in there that was clearly dated back in the 2000 or something like that. And these are my mirror closet. Yeah, mirror closet and all stuff. And this is where I place all my clothes and all stuff. And well, you kind of see how that goes. And then there's also this other side of the mirror cabinet. What's the filming stuff on mirror? I know it's weird. Well, these are all my books and all stuff. Yeah, I'm guessing these are like how to animate animation kind of books or something like that on top. Oh yeah, and these are some of my other doll houses I had over there. And these are the stuff that probably would have fit the doll house. So pretty much my other doll house that I officially made is still at that old house. And we haven't even removed it, so my parents suggested I should just make another dollhouse instead. I'm not sure how I'm gonna make another dollhouse like this. And over there, these are all my stuffed toy animals over here and all my dolls and all that stuff. And more of that storage stuff that I had over there. And over there, this is where I store my books. Yep, these are clean where I store my books and all that other stuff. And also more of these smaller dollhouses I had. Especially these dollhouses, because some of these dollhouses are made out of shoe boxes and stuff. You know how that is. And over there, this is clearly my office space underneath the bed or something like that. This is my projector and the sound. And of course that sound box or something like that I have. And this is the Bluetooth one. And there goes my Switch I officially had. And the VR headset that I had as usual. And this is my laptop over here. Well, I'm sorry, my other stuff didn't came over. Didn't just came over or something like that. It's still at the old house, meaning that we probably had to move it back and forth for some reason only. I'm not sure how. And yeah, this is the car that a friend of mine just gave me on the avenue. He's kind of nice, by the way. Even though he does like to draw cartoon characters too, for all that matter. Well, if anything. Yeah, and these are all my suitcases, and this is my bag full of crocheting stuff and all that stuff. If anything. And there goes all these pictures I officially had. And I have like this is here as a projector screen I have. So what I did is that I have one idea. So pretty much my idea was to create a bedroom create 3 rooms into one. Well, one is going to be the bedroom. The other one's going to be like the theater room area. And the other one's going to be the sound stage or something like that. Well, except that my parents ended up having other ideas. So it ended up becoming 2 rooms instead of just one. And so it ended up becoming 2 rooms in 1 room instead of all three in 1 room. All because for some stars, my parents have ideas for a soundstage studio or something like that, but it cannot just be in my room or anything else. Well, for some reason, I don't know why. And this is clearly my yoga mat. Whenever I use this VR headset, to exercise or do some sculpting and all that stuff. Yeah, I actually did sculpt with a VR headset before, and then I just exported to a ODS file and then convert to an FBX file on my laptop computer screen, or if anything. Maybe I can explain how I made this movie in a short or something like that. If anything. So pretty much this here could totally let me to my bedroom or something like that. There's another door. It doesn't let me to to a walk-in closet, but on the list to another room, which I'm not going to show. So this is clearly the bathroom I officially had around here, if anything. And now I'm about to move on to showing the other side of the room. Okay, this here is another room, so I'm just going to show you this. This is clearly a laundry room over here, so I only had like one laundry room area instead of two or something like that. So pretty much this is where I wash the clothes, dry the clothes, and all that stuff. So pretty much on one side, there's like stuff in there. So this side over here. So this is clearly like some art supplies I officially had. Some of them are not art supplies. Oh yeah, these are not art supplies. Yeah, this is the other art supplies. These are just some canvases I had, and especially some cardboard boxes that I probably might use for artwork. And I also have art supplies stored right inside of here. So this is where I store the art supplies in here. If I decide to work on some artwork or something else, maybe I can show you the garage. Yep, and this is the digital art picture I officially made, which includes the medieval house and, of course, the pretty house and all that stuff for a dresser. And this here is a vanity of the sink. Well, I'm sorry, it just had all these junk mails on it, so I probably had to clean it up for some reason only, but I did not actually put it there, to be fair, and it never was meant to be there either. And this here is the garage area. This is where we parked our cars and stuff. So pretty much my parents had ideas. Yeah, I know that this is clearly very one unfinished artwork or something like that was left in there, over there. So pretty much my parents have ideas that this room is going to be like art studios and of course sound studios at the same time. Like one half is going to be the sound studio and the other half is going to be the art studio or something like that. Yeah, even though there's also invented a garage door opener or something like that, so I probably might open a garage whenever I'm working with something intoxicated or something like resin or something like that, or Mod Podge or something like that. So I'm guessing that maybe that side with a garage door opener with that garage door over there. Probably might be the art studio side, and this side might be the soundstage style side. It looks pretty much unfinished right about now. We haven't get started right about now, so the only thing left was an easel and pretty much an artwork that is unfinished. Well, that one artwork that I never got a chance to finish up at Grandma's, even though this artwork was really for my grandma. So this here is Queen Van, the entire tour of the house or something. It's not entirely or something like that because I only show like part of it because some of the other half is off limit. Like for example, my parents' bedroom and of course the other two bedrooms, which might be a guest bedroom or something like that, even though it's been labeled, even though it has some of the artworks I officially made, but I had to make it for like a dresser, a nightstand or something like that. If anything, just to make it look cool and unique or something like that, so they just have my artwork and all that stuff, so I let you show you those kind of artwork. And I probably might explain the real reasons why we're moving here. So the real reasons why we're moving is because for some stars we all had to take care of an elderly relative of mine, which happens to be my grandma for some reason only. Even though my grandma was obviously left as one for some reason only. Well, my step grandfather passed away already. Even though nobody's gonna take care of my grandma, so it's only up to me and my mom, sometimes my aunt or something like that whenever she comes over or something like that. And sometimes I do have an uncle coming over, like my Uncle Kevin or something like that. Well, my Uncle Frank is no longer around here anymore, so he passed away. So he passed away years ago or something like that. Which clearly explains this one sad videotape of some sort, even though for my mom and the end we had to move in next to my grandma or something like that. That's clearly another real reasons why we all have to move here, just to be closer to relative. Just to be closer to relative or something like that. Which is one. Even though we've never been that close to our relatives, we've been far from our relatives for years or something like that. And it's something we kind of felt bad for it. And for some reason only, we couldn't even bring my grandma over to our house over here. That was far out state or something like that. All because for some stars we did try my grandpa before, but pretty much my grandpa doesn't seem to like it that much. So he'd rather be at his home state, like literally. So he stayed here in home state until he sadly passed away or something like that. So ever since then, we worried about one relative being my grandma or something like that. All because for some reason only our step grandfather just passed away, and because of this, we wind up moving here just to take care of grandma, because for some stars my grandma's getting old and she probably might fail, even though she seems healthy enough, even though to never even found he'd failed. But as a matter of fact, she obviously did while we're still here, being here and around. Well, except that she developed some kind of stomach problems and we had to take care of her for that for some reason only. Well, you kind of already know how it is with relatives, even though our relatives are kind of getting old or something like that, and we had to be around here with our relatives. But in the meantime, we do have some other relatives. We might go on a road trip and drive to other relatives' house. That was like 4 hours away from drive, or 2 hours away, or one hour away from flying. And I even heard rumors that they're going to create trains that it could travel for like at least 2 hours away, and then we meet up with our relative or something like that. And if anything, I'm probably going to have to end this video tape right about now.